Hi. So finally the wait was over. The 2025 ODI World Cup for Women kick-started yesterday with a very important game between the two co-hosts India and Sri Lanka. India were obviously the favorites because they are expected to reach the semi-final bare minimum, and even maybe they would be expected to win the first ICC trophy as a co-host because they have the home advantage. At the same time, Sri Lanka, who is also a co-host, having some advantage of the Asian subcontinent playing conditions, they had also some confidence coming into the match, and they had some hopes that they could upset India on their day because recently they had already tested success against India by beating India in the Asia Cup final. So it was a very important match for both the teams because both the teams wanted to start their campaign with a win so that reaching the semi-final would be a little easier for them. India got to bat first, and India lost their star batter Smriti Mandhana, who has been the greatest or the best opening batter in women's cricket in this year. She had already scored 928 and was just 72 runs short of 1000 runs in a calendar year, which would give her an unique record. But then yesterday, Sri Lankan disciplined bowling attack ensured that she could not flourish and she got out for 8. After that, Harleen and Pratika Rawal tried to build the innings, do a little bit of repair work, but ultimately at 25 over mark, India were 120 for 2, and it looked India had put themselves on course for a formidable total. But then in the 26th over, the Indian women tried to replicate what Asian in the Asia Cup final, the Pakistani men had done. That is to surrender wickets in a jiffy, and India lost 3 wickets in the 26th over to Ranavira, and very soon then they became 125 for 6. So from 120 for 2 to 125 for 6, and India was in really dire straits, and it looked India would struggle to even reach 170 or 175, and that would mean Sri Lanka would run away with this game. But then Sri Lankan fielding and bowling lost their focus and their attention and their discipline, and then the match ran away from them. Amanjot Kaur was the major beneficiary of poor fielding by Sri Lankan team, who dropped 4 catches, out of which 3 were at least 3 were sitters. And then when Amanjot got so many lives and in the company of Dipti Sharma, who was playing a fabulous knock with the bat, then she started gaining confidence, and then they started pulling the game away from Sri Lanka. And later on, when Sneha Rana came to play that fantastic cameo of 28 of just 15 balls with a strike rate of 186, the match was beyond Sri Lanka's grasp because India had managed to score 269 in 47 overs and had set a very, very challenging target of 271 because of Duckworth Lewis system against Sri Lanka on a pitch which was challenging. And India had the spin trio of Sneha Rana, Sri Charni, and that fabulous all-rounder Dipti Sharma, who were confident of putting the brakes on Sri Lankan innings and would not allow them to score such a big total. And that's exactly happened when their star batter Atapattu got dismissed for 43. Then Sri Lanka knew that they had an uphill task ahead of them, and when India managed to snuff out the key wickets of the promising batters like Nilashika De Silva, then Harshita Samaruvikrama, and finally Anushka Dhanwantari, then it seemed the match was beyond Sri Lanka, and ultimately Sri Lanka lost the match with a formidable, in a very convincing manner after they were dismissed for just 211 runs, and they lost the match by almost 59 runs. So that shows that India, on a day when they had so many errors, so many mistakes with their batting and had committed batting harakiri, and their entire middle order was completely decimated, still they were good enough to beat a decent team like Sri Lanka in a very convincing manner with a comfortable margin. That augurs good for them, and the fact that all the spinners were in great form, Dipti as well as Sri Charni and Sneha Rana, is a fabulous sign that from the first ball they have hit the strides. And last but not the least, the perennial weakness of India, that is the lower middle order and tail. Yesterday, they showed that they won the match because of their batting. It's Amanjot Kaur and Dipti Sharma's batting which helped India to win. Otherwise, this match was beyond India's grasp. So there are 3 great tick marks for India in the first match, which would augur so well for India in the rest of the tournament against the big teams. And this team would be buoyant by the fact that they won the match comfortably and they have the points in spite of having a slightly below par day with the bat. and that would give them the confidence that once they start playing as per their potential, they can go all the way. So a great way to start the campaign for India. Congratulations to them and commiserations to Sri Lanka. Hopefully they will improve and they would have learned some lessons. They would have also got some confidence after with their bowling effort for most part of the first innings, that they can do much better against other teams, and who knows, they can still make it to the top four. So commiserations to Sri Lanka and all the best, and congratulations Team India. Thank you.